modern fairy tale with heart and humor, this movie mixes romance and culture clash, with stunning visuals and a lovable cast. Crazy Rich Asians is a captivating blend of romance, drama, and cultural conflict, skillfully showcasing the power dynamics within a wealthy, traditional family in Singapore. Directed by John M. Chu, the film is based on Kevin Kwan's best-selling novel and centers on the relationship between Rachel Chu, Constance Wu, a brilliant but unsuspecting New York professor, and her boyfriend, Nick Young, Henry Golding, whose enormous family fortune turns their romance into a whirlwind of societal pressures, family expectations, and class divisions. The opening scene, set in 1995 London, introduces the powerful Eleanor Young, Michelle Yeoh, as a woman who swiftly turns a snub into triumph, setting the tone for the central theme of power, prestige, and the burdens that accompany it. Fast forward to the present, and Rachel is pulled into Nick's opulent world when he invites her to Singapore for a wedding, unknowingly throwing her into the deep end of a family that views her as an outsider. The film shines in its portrayal of the stark contrast between Nick's luxurious life and Rachel's humble upbringing. The breathtaking visuals of Singaporean wealth and grandeur are both mesmerizing and overwhelming, creating a rich backdrop for the unfolding tensions. The hawker center scene, along with lavish parties, highlights the cultural and economic dichotomy that Rachel faces as she navigates Nick's world. Michelle Yeoh delivers a powerful performance as Eleanor, the fiercely protective mother, embodying a matriarchal figure who exudes tradition and authority. Her rivalry with Rachel, though subtle, carries much of the film's emotional weight, culminating in a beautifully tense mahjong showdown that symbolizes their battle for Nick's future. Rachel's decision to sacrifice her own happiness to protect Nick from family strife is a poignant and heartfelt moment that elevates the character's strength and integrity. What sets Crazy Rich Asians apart from typical romantic comedies is its exploration of family, heritage, and identity. Rachel's journey is not just about winning Eleanor's approval, but about asserting her self-worth in a world that views her as unworthy due to her background. The film deftly handles complex issues like cultural clashes and social class, providing a meaningful commentary on Asian family values versus modern independence. The ensemble cast, led by Awkwafina as Peik Lin, adds humor and charm to the narrative, offering moments of levity amidst the dramatic tension. Gemma Chan's portrayal of Astrid, Nick's cousin, also stands out as she grapples with her own troubled marriage, adding layers to the film's exploration of wealth and personal fulfillment. Overall, Crazy Rich Asians is an engaging, vibrant, and emotionally resonant film that blends romance with deeper social commentary. It's a celebration of cultural identity, love, and personal strength, making it a standout in modern cinema. The film also leaves room for future stories, as hinted by the mid-credits scene, keeping viewers eager for what's to come. This classic story of an ordinary bookseller falling for a famous movie star has charm, wit, and an unforgettable meet-cute. Notting Hill is a delightful romantic comedy that perfectly blends humor, charm, and emotion, set against the backdrop of London's picturesque Notting Hill neighborhood. Directed by Roger Michell, the film follows the improbable romance between William Thacker, Hugh Grant, a humble bookstore owner, and Anna Scott, Julia Roberts, a world-famous Hollywood actress. The story explores themes of fame, love, and the complexity of relationships between two people from vastly different worlds. Hugh Grant's portrayal of William is endearing. His character is shy, self-deprecating, and a bit unlucky in love, which makes his accidental meeting with Anna all the more serendipitous. Julia Roberts, Anna Scott, though a celebrity, is presented as approachable and vulnerable, giving the audience a glimpse behind the glamorous facade of fame. Their chemistry is undeniable, and from their first meeting at William's bookstore to their heartfelt exchanges, the sparks fly in the most unexpected ways. The film's humor is one of its standout features, especially with supporting characters like Spike, Rhys Ifans, Will's eccentric flatmate, whose outlandish behavior adds some hilarious moments, including the iconic scene where Spike answers the door to a swarm of paparazzi while half-dressed. The awkwardness of William's bumbling attempts to impress Anna, particularly in the press junket scene, where he pretends to be a reporter from Horse and Hound, creates a comedic undertone that lightens the emotional weight of the story. At its core, Notting Hill is about the complications of loving someone in the public eye. The film deftly handles the challenges of dating a celebrity, including the media frenzy, personal insecurities, and the constant scrutiny that threatens to tear the couple apart. The emotional depth of the film comes through in moments of heartbreak, particularly when Anna's past scandal and Will's misunderstanding lead to their separation. Robert's performance shines during these vulnerable moments, showing the pressures that come with being constantly in the spotlight. The film's supporting cast, including William's quirky yet lovable group of friends, adds warmth and authenticity to the story. Their reactions to William's relationship with Anna, especially their starstruck excitement, serve as a reflection of how ordinary people might feel about dating someone famous. Their honest, often humorous advice helps ground William and adds a sense of camaraderie to the film. The film culminates in a classic rom-com, race against time moment, with Will realizing he made a mistake and rushing to win Anna back. The final press conference scene, where he cleverly rekindles their romance under the guise of a reporter, is both touching and satisfying, as it provides the happy ending that fans of the genre crave. Notting Hill is more than just a love story. It's a celebration of hope, second chances, and the idea that love can transcend the barriers of fame and fortune. With its charming performances, witty dialogue, and heartwarming moments, it remains a timeless classic that leaves a lasting impression. A high school rom-com loosely based on Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, this film blends teen angst with hilarious moments and a swoon-worthy romance. 10 Things I Hate About You is a modern, playful adaptation of Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, set in a high school environment with a sharp blend of teenage romance, wit, and rebellious spirit. Directed by Gil Junger, the film effortlessly weaves together humor and heart, creating a timeless rom-com that both celebrates and critiques teenage angst, peer pressure, and the complexities of young love. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Cameron James, the new student at Padua High, whose instant crush on the popular and superficial Bianca Stratford, Larissa Olinik, sets the stage for a comedy of romantic entanglements. The real standout, however, is Julia Stiles as Kat Stratford, Bianca's older, strong-willed, and fiercely independent sister. Kat is a senior who values her independence and bucks societal norms, making her the unlikely romantic interest of the school's resident bad boy, Patrick Verona, Heath Ledger. The film's premise revolves around a clever scheme. Bianca can't date unless Kat does, thanks to the strict rules of their overprotective father, Walter, Larry Miller. This leads to the involvement of Patrick, who, despite his rough-around-the-edges persona, is paid by Joey Donner, Andrew Keegan, the school's shallow, wealthy senior, to court Kat in order to free up Bianca for dating. As Patrick begins to woo Kat, what starts as a superficial arrangement quickly evolves into something more genuine. The chemistry between Stiles and Ledger is electric. Heath Ledger, in one of his breakout roles, brings a balance of charm, humor, and vulnerability to Patrick. One of the most memorable moments in the film is when Patrick serenades Kat in the school stadium, complete with a full marching band accompaniment. It's a classic rom-com scene that stands the test of time, perfectly capturing the whimsical nature of teenage romance. At its core, 10 Things I Hate About You excels because it combines the sharp banter and emotional depth of its leads with a meaningful exploration of teenage identity. Kat's character arc is particularly compelling. Initially portrayed as the quintessential shrew, her backstory, revealed in a poignant confession to Bianca about her past relationship with Joey, sheds light on her prickly demeanor. This moment transforms her from a mere rebellious figure into a relatable character, hurt by past experiences and determined not to make the same mistakes again. The film also does a great job exploring the sibling dynamics between Kat and Bianca. While they couldn't be more different, Kat is headstrong and Bianca is popularity-driven, there's a heartwarming connection between them as they come to understand each other's choices and desires. Larissa Olinik shines in her role, balancing Bianca's initial superficiality with her eventual growth as she realizes that Cameron, not Joey, is the guy she truly connects with. The supporting characters, particularly David Krumholtz as the geeky Michael Ekman and Larry Miller as the over-the-top protective father, add to the film's humor and charm. Miller's exaggerated warnings about teenage pregnancy provide comic relief, while Krumholtz's awkward attempts to guide Cameron through the social hierarchy of high school are both endearing and hilarious. The film's climax at the prom brings all the tensions to a head, with Joey's arrogant plan to seduce Bianca exposed, and Kat's heartbreak over learning the truth about Patrick's initial motives. However, the film doesn't leave its audience in despair for long. Kat's poem, 10 Things I Hate About You, which she reads in class, is a heartfelt and vulnerable moment that beautifully captures the complexity of teenage love. How even when you're hurt, love can still persist. By the end, the film wraps up with a satisfying conclusion. Bianca chooses Cameron over Joey, Walter loosens his grip and allows Kat to pursue her dreams, and Patrick proves his sincerity with a thoughtful gift that helps reconcile their relationship. 10 Things I Hate About You remains a quintessential teen film, blending humor, romance, and Shakespearean inspiration into a fresh, modern-day classic. The sharp writing, memorable performances, particularly from Ledger and Stiles, and emotionally grounded characters make this movie a standout in the genre, appealing to both teenagers and those looking back fondly on the roller coaster of high school romance. Featuring Sandra Bullock and Reynolds, this film delivers laughs with a fake engagement plot that leads to real feelings and plenty of comic mishaps. The Proposal is a charming romantic comedy that combines sharp wit, heartwarming moments, and scenic Alaskan backdrops to tell the story of an unexpected romance between a high-powered, ruthless editor and her long-suffering assistant. Directed by Anne Fletcher and starring Sandra Bullock and Reynolds, the film delivers laughs and heartfelt moments while exploring themes of love, family, and redemption. The plot centers around Margaret Tate, Sandra Bullock, a no-nonsense chief editor at a prestigious New York publishing firm. Margaret's reputation as a tough, demanding boss has earned her the ire of her coworkers, including her beleaguered executive assistant, Andrew Paxton, Reynolds. Despite working for Margaret for 3 years, Andrew's ambitions of becoming an editor seem forever on hold, as he dutifully caters to Margaret's every whim. The story takes a twist when Margaret faces deportation back to her native Canada due to an expired visa. With her career hanging in the balance, she devises a plan, blackmail Andrew into marrying her to avoid deportation, promising him a promotion in exchange for his cooperation. Reluctantly, Andrew agrees, setting off a chain of events that leads the pair to his hometown of Sitka, Alaska, to celebrate his grandmother's 90th birthday. What follows is a delightful clash of personalities, as Margaret, accustomed to her fast-paced, high-powered life in New York, is thrown into the warmth and charm of Andrew's close-knit family. Betty White steals every scene as Andrew's eccentric yet lovable grandmother, who instantly embraces Margaret as part of the family. Through this familial immersion, Margaret slowly begins to thaw from her icy, business-first persona, allowing glimpses of vulnerability to emerge. Sandra Bullock shines as Margaret, skillfully portraying the transition from a cold, career-driven woman to someone who, over the course of the weekend, opens up to the joys of family and love. Her chemistry with Reynolds, who plays the sarcastic yet endearing Andrew, elevates the film. Their banter and evolving relationship feel natural, with both actors balancing humor and tenderness. The film's setting in Sitka, Alaska, provides a beautiful backdrop, creating a stark contrast to the bustling New York environment where the story begins. The breathtaking scenery adds a sense of wonder and escape, contributing to the film's feel-good atmosphere. The picturesque landscape also serves as a metaphor for the emotional journey Margaret embarks on, leaving behind the cold, isolating world of her career for the warmth of personal connection. The movie skillfully handles its comedic moments, with Bullock and Reynolds showcasing impeccable timing. Scenes like Margaret's awkward attempts to fit into Andrew's family life, her dance with Grandma Annie in the woods, and her embarrassing encounters with nature are laugh-out-loud funny. However, beneath the humor lies a deeper emotional core. As Margaret gets to know Andrew's family, she starts to confront her own loneliness, rooted in the loss of her parents when she was just 16. The film subtly explores how Margaret's drive for success was a way to fill the void left by her tragic past. Reynolds brings a nuanced performance as Andrew, whose motivations extend beyond simply getting a promotion. His character reveals a complicated relationship with his family, especially his father, played by Craig T. Nelson, who has different expectations for Andrew's future. Andrew's decision to be an assistant in New York, rather than stay and run the family business in Alaska, creates underlying tension that adds depth to the story. The stakes are raised when Mr. Gilbertson, Dennis O'Hare, a skeptical immigration officer, unexpectedly shows up in Alaska to investigate the legitimacy of their relationship. This subplot introduces moments of tension and keeps the audience wondering whether their ruse will be exposed. The turning point comes when Margaret, realizing the impact her deception could have on Andrew's future, makes a selfless decision to call off the wedding, demonstrating the character growth she's undergone. The conclusion of the proposal is predictably sweet, but it's the journey that makes it worthwhile. Andrew's realization that he has fallen for Margaret, despite the contrived circumstances of their relationship, leads to a heartfelt declaration of love. The film closes with a satisfying and warm ending as Margaret, now truly in love with Andrew, confronts her fears of intimacy and vulnerability. Overall, The Proposal is a delightful romantic comedy that balances humor with genuine emotion. Sandra Bullock and Reynolds' performances are at the heart of the film, bringing charm and authenticity to their evolving relationship. The Alaskan setting, coupled with strong supporting performances from the cast, particularly Betty White, adds to the movie's irresistible charm. It's a feel-good film that reminds us of the importance of love, family, and finding someone who sees beyond our facades. A heartwarming story about coming out and falling in love, this rom-com is equal parts funny and touching, making it an uplifting watch for all. Love, Simon is a heartwarming and refreshing teen coming-of-age film that sensitively explores the complexities of identity, friendship, and first love. Directed by Greg Berlanti and based on the novel Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, this film blends humor, drama, and an emotional journey of self-acceptance, making it a standout in the romantic comedy genre. The story centers on Simon Spear, played with genuine charm by Nick Robinson, an ordinary high school senior with a secret. He's gay. Though he has a loving family, supportive friends, and a seemingly comfortable life, Simon is still closeted, grappling with the fear of coming out. His secret life begins to unravel when he starts exchanging anonymous emails with another closeted student, known only as Blue, and forms an emotional connection with him. However, when Simon's emails are discovered by the awkward and annoying classmate Martin, Logan Miller, Simon is blackmailed into playing matchmaker between Martin and his friend Abby, Alexandra Shipp, complicating both his relationships and his emotional journey. What sets Love, Simon apart is its warm, relatable approach to LGBTQ+ storytelling. Rather than portraying Simon's sexuality as a tragic burden, the film treats it with the same ups and downs as any teenage love story, making Simon's experience universal and accessible. The film has a wonderful balance of humor and heart, as Simon navigates the tricky waters of adolescence, dealing with friendships, unrequited love, and the looming pressure of being outed before he's ready. Nick Robinson delivers a standout performance as Simon, portraying him with a vulnerability and authenticity that makes him instantly likable. His journey from fear to acceptance is both moving and relatable, and his internal struggles feel real. The supporting cast shines as well, especially Jennifer Garner and Josh Duhamel as Simon's supportive but occasionally clueless parents. Garner has a particularly touching moment when she tells Simon that he can now exhale, giving him the acceptance he desperately needs. Duhamel also handles his role with sensitivity, going from making awkward jokes about gay culture to offering a heartfelt apology for not understanding his son sooner. The film's humor comes from the relatable awkwardness of high school life, particularly through Simon's interactions with his quirky, lovable group of friends: Leah, Catherine Langford, Nick, Rory Lendeborg Jr., and Abby. The romantic tension between the friends is handled well, with misunderstandings and emotional upheavals that feel authentic to teenage relationships. Simon's attempts to misdirect his friends, all while navigating his secret, result in some humorous yet poignant moments, including his misguided efforts to figure out who Blue really is. One of the film's most powerful subplots is Simon's relationship with his anonymous pen pal, Blue. Their correspondence is a lifeline for Simon, offering him a safe space to be himself and explore his feelings. The mystery of Blue's identity adds an intriguing layer to the film, keeping the audience invested in Simon's quest for love and connection. When the reveal finally comes, it's a deeply satisfying moment that celebrates the beauty of vulnerability and finding someone who truly sees you for who you are. The film also skillfully tackles the theme of coming out with sensitivity and nuance. Simon's fear of being outed, his sense of isolation, and his longing for acceptance are emotions that many LGBTQ+ individuals can relate to. The scene where his emails are publicly posted, outing him to the entire school, is a gut-wrenching moment that captures the devastating loss of control over one's personal narrative. However, Love, Simon offers a hopeful and uplifting resolution, as Simon is embraced by his friends and family, reinforcing the message that love and acceptance are possible even in the face of fear. Visually, the film is bright and colorful, with the setting of suburban high school life feeling familiar and inviting. The soundtrack, featuring artists like Bleachers and Khalid, adds a fun and contemporary vibe to the movie, perfectly capturing the tone of youthful energy and emotion. While Love, Simon is, at its core, a romantic comedy, it's also a deeply important film in terms of representation. It gives LGBTQ+ teens a feel-good mainstream movie where the protagonist's sexual orientation isn't the source of tragedy, but rather a part of his journey to self-love and happiness. The film normalizes queer love in a way that is both joyful and affirming. Overall, Love, Simon is a sweet, funny, and moving film that beautifully captures the highs and lows of teenage life, the struggles of coming out, and the joy of finding first love. With a strong lead performance, an endearing supporting cast, and a positive message of acceptance, this film is a triumph in both storytelling and representation. It's a must-watch for anyone who's ever felt like they're hiding a part of themselves, offering a heartwarming reminder that love, in all its forms, is worth fighting for.